Hello, and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Cody Proctor. Each weekend, we walk you through the headlines from the past week in the Inland Northwest. Let's get started with one of the biggest news stories of the past few days.
We understand that decisions we make impact people's lives. And we do not take that lightly.
Governor Bob Ferguson says some of his suggestions are about efficiency, like eliminating 2 helicopters from the state's wildfire fighting fleet already scheduled to be phased out, or closing down a currently unused portion of the state's sex offender facility. But cutting $4 billion would have a human toll, too. 1,000 state positions would be eliminated. Most state employees would need to take 1 unpaid day off every month for 2 years. And new programs in most agencies would be delayed and or see funding decreases in coming years. For example, food bank subsidies that shot up thanks to federal COVID funding over the pandemic would be reduced.
That just seemed to me, given a budget shortfall, would I want to do that? If there wasn't a budget shortfall, of course I wouldn't do that, right? But look, we're not going to tax our way out of this thing. Not going to happen. $15 billion is a lot of money.
4-year colleges face cuts that could increase tuition, says Western Washington professor Bill Line.
What the governor's plan is saying is that 4-year higher education is only for rich kids.
We're already in crisis in long-term care.
Claire Belfi Rice works at an Olympia nursing home and says her residents and coworkers need more support from the state, not less.
Do I change this person's brief or do I brush their teeth? Because I don't have time to do it all, no matter how hard I work, no matter how fast I walk, no matter how efficient I get.
Budget writers from both parties say they appreciate the governor's suggestions. Republicans don't think the cuts go far enough. Democrats fear cuts too deep would hurt the state. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, KREM 2 News.
Let's get you caught up on news from the Idaho legislature.
That means it is fair, responsible, transparent, and accountable.
Governor Brad Little set the stage in his Keeping Promises State of the State address.
Yeah, I came here with this commitment in my heart to make sure that every child has the opportunity for an excellent education.
Representative Wendy Horman co-sponsored the bill, a bill that passed out of committee on February 5th after critical questioning. Questions continued on the House floor.
A well-designed program would include a robust oversight and clear reporting and proper funding for enforcement, of which none of this bill provides.
How is it school choice when private schools get to selectively choose their students?
The people showed up with their thoughts on February 13th. A Senate committee heard the full pitch from co-sponsor Senator Lori Den Hartog.
No one school, no one system is going to be the exact right fit for every single child. And so having options and opportunities that families can access really it's powerful.
President Trump chimed in on social media as the proposal went through technical transmittal, an endorsement for Governor Little and the proposed school choice measure, even catching the bill sponsor by surprise.
It's not every day you have a president of the United States endorse your bill.
This bill is not the boogeyman.
February 19th marked the final decision day for lawmakers.
This bill isn't about school choice. It is simply cutting a blank check for a certain few using taxpayer dollars.
It passed, a narrow vote of 20-15. The final hurdle cleared on the run to the governor's desk.
The only part of what I said that I really agreed with was the price of it. There's not enough accountability in it. But to that mind, I don't think there's enough accountability in the money we give public schools either.
February 27th, the end of the road. A press release announced that governor was signing it into law. Representative Horman finding out only a short time before.
I got a phone call. I was down in House Education Committee presenting a bill.
A successful campaign that took years to complete, one that Representative Horman says can make a difference.
Elation. This is something I've worked on for so many years. I'm so excited for the families and the children that this will benefit in the state of Idaho, especially those of modest means.
Still, there are questions, ones that Representative Steve Birch has asked since the first committee hearing.
Very disappointed.
Concerns hang for critics of 93, worries about expansion, a runaway program.
Any dollar that winds up going to a private school or a religious school, whether it's in the form of a voucher or whether it's elected to go into the general fund, is one less dollar for public education.
Corman believes the program won't negatively impact public schools, something she keeps close to her heart.
So I have 30 years of supporting public schools. That's not going to change. We are still going to make investments in public schools in Idaho. And again, this money takes no money away at all from public schools.
Others wonder if the governor kept his promise, his outline for a successful program.
That it needed to be fair, it needed to provide accountability, responsibility, and transparency. By any definition of those four words, this bill does none of that. It's really a promise broken to the citizens of Idaho.
There's a lot of work to do to make sure that families are aware of this program and getting the word out about that. And so in one way, the work is just really beginning.
Weather had an impact this past week. Let's take a look.
I am in Colfax right now, and as you can see right next to me is the Palouse River. It is flowing very fast and very steadily. Now, weather officials say that the Palouse River is at different stages of flood levels here, both in Potlatch and in Pullman. But it's not just rivers that have been giving residents a hard time.
About 5 feet of water around our camper, and we came out and just noticed that all the canals and the fields and everything were probably 2 to 3 feet deep at that time.
In Oakdale, one couple faced severe damage to their brand new home that they just laid down the foundation for.
The rest of this week to get the water out and hopefully get some of the ground dried up so that we can finish our project.
Mike and April Strevey say the flooding has never been like this since they moved to town 4 years ago.
Last time that there was a flood this bad here was in 1996, and the flood that we had on Sunday surplused that flood, which was a natural disaster.
As for residents like April Strevey, she says all she can do is keep moving forward.
Many people stopped by yesterday just to offer kindness, and they thanked us for all the work that we've done on the property, and they've been watching the progress. And that to us is reassuring that we are in the right community, in the right town.
Well, the wet weather is not stopping just yet, and the rain is just coming down in Colfax. The National Weather Service says more thunderstorms, rain, and wind are on their way. Reporting in Colfax, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your weekend forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. It's been a busy week across the Inland Northwest, and we want to help you catch up on some of the stories you might have missed.
The suspect in the shooting, Jason M. Rook, faced a Kootenai County judge on Thursday for the first time. Police arrested Rook on Wednesday in Coeur d'Alene. He had been on the run since Sunday. He's booked in Kootenai County Jail with murder and burglary charges. He has no bail set at this time. Police believe Rook was an ex-boyfriend of Rogers' girlfriend. Neighboring business owners say Rogers was starting to make a name for himself and his business in the downtown area.
He's around doing his job, and that's just done now, and it's abrupt and quick, and it's sad. It's really sad.
Daniel Bentley is the owner of a neighboring business across the street from the Inland Kava Bar. He says Rogers was always a kind-hearted person who wanted to bring a new type of business to the Coeur d'Alene area.
It's set up on the sign, the first non-alcoholic, place, little bar spot to come hang out at and have a good time. So, he just wanted to create a cool spot for somebody to come in and have a good time and not have to drink.
Bentley says he will remember Rogers as a dedicated business owner who loved the area he served.
He's just a stand-up human that came to work every single day, paid his bills and did the right thing. So it's sad situation for sure.
In continuing coverage this week,
Whitman County Judge Roger Sandberg denied requests from both sides for protection orders after reviewing tens of thousands of text messages between the two and finding no evidence of rape or domestic violence.
Juvenile, childish on both parties' side. I feel like I'm reading texts between teenagers, 13-year-olds, not adults.
Harsh words from a Whitman County judge as he denied dueling protection orders from Pullman's police chief and the woman who accused him of rape. KREM 2 News is not naming Chief Jake Opgenorth's accuser and ex-girlfriend, who asked for legal protection from him in December. She said he'd abused and assaulted her during their 3-year affair. Wednesday, her attorney said Opgenorth admitted the assault by text.
Then repeatedly messaged her that he had raped her and went as far as saying, forgiveness doesn't mean that the law was broken.
But Opgenorth's attorney, Mark Conrad, says evidence proves the accuser deleted some messages and withheld others from the judge.
That's not an error. That's a calculated move from her to remove those from the context.
Judge Roger Sandberg agreed.
About 90,000 text messages in 10 months.
Saying she provided a few incriminating examples.
By comparison, this original petition had submitted, I counted them up, 58 text messages.
In full context, he says, those messages didn't prove any rape or abuse occurred, but Sandberg says it did prove something else.
A deliberate attempt to mislead the court. She clearly omitted messages which would have provided an entirely different impression.
The judge says there's evidence both sides were trying to control and manipulate one another, but he did not find any evidence of a crime. Opgenorth has been on administrative leave from his Pullman PD job for 2 months because of the allegations. We reached out to Pullman PD to see if Opgenorth will be reinstated as chief, but haven't yet heard back. This ruling also reverses an order forcing Opgenorth to surrender guns and weapons. Both sides can appeal. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
There's still more to come on the KREM 2 News Week in Review.
Raise is not daycare. They will offer wraparound services including mental and behavioral health support and curriculum highlighting Black culture.
We say Black history is American history, but we don't live that, right? And if you aren't surrounded by it, if it isn't an everyday thing, then it seems foreign to you.
Hello, I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News. You're watching the Week in Review, where we bring you some of the biggest news stories of the past week.
What color is this? Pink. It is pink. Who has pink?
From matching colors,
Miss Rosalie has pink. Everybody say, go Rosalie, go. Go Rosalie, go.
to supporting their peers.
Josiah, go. Josiah, go.
These little scholars are getting more than a typical experience at a child care center.
My daughter's name is Jalea. She is 3 years old, and my son is 7 months old, and his nickname is Sunny.
This working mom of 2 enrolled her children here after struggling to find a place to go.
But as I was looking for centers, it was really difficult because there wasn't a lot of options when it came to the education piece. And some of them were full, some of them did not have some of the needs that we needed as a family.
Her son, Sonny, is the light of her world. He had open heart surgery at a young age. Their needs as a family making the options even slimmer.
We were really concerned about what should we do? How should we connect our oldest child into a learning center while still protecting him, because we know germs and all different kinds of things.
This map from the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families shows the child care shortage for families in Washington. In Spokane County, more than 70% of children under the age of 5 are in need of child care. In 2019, the Department of Commerce found those statistics were even worse for Black families. It found Black children in Spokane were some of the most underserved in all of Washington State for early childhood education.
And they came to Spokane and they asked, what do we do? How do we fix this?
Kira Bauer, owner of Little Scholars, was tasked alongside a small group to find solutions.
I pitched the idea of a culturally based preschool and development center that met the needs of Spokane County around extended hours care and mental and behavioral health supports. And that's where Raise was born.
After 5 years of planning, the Rays Early Learning and Development Center broke ground in the Logan neighborhood last month, which is considered a childcare desert, meaning there are few to no options for families. Bauer saw the success of the Salish School in Spokane and knew a model like it could be the solution.
And I just remember thinking, wouldn't that be great to have something like that focused on Black American history, which is American history, and created kind of this bridge of understanding.
The goal of Rays is to end perpetuating narratives for Black children.
Preschool to prison pipeline is directly impacted by suspension and expulsion rates of students. But the way to disrupt that is through mental and behavioral health support.
Courtney says it's why she was impressed with Rays and how it's reimagining how we think about early childhood education.
We've been doing the status quo for a very long time in our spaces of early childhood education. This is going to be an opportunity for people to put their children somewhere that is going to give a different experience.
Rays is not daycare. They will offer wraparound services including mental and behavioral health support and curriculum highlighting Black culture.
So often people hear that it has a Black American focus and they just assume it's only for the Black kids. And it can't be. It's for anybody that considers themselves an American and just want to be immersed around American history and contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome back. Before we wrap up this edition of the KREM 2 News Week in Review, we want to remind you can get the latest newscasts and weather forecasts anytime on KREM 2 Plus. It's free to watch and download for Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Now, here's one more story before we go.
I'm here at Avista Stadium with Spokane Indians President Chris Duff. You guys have been busy this offseason, even though you're not on the field working on the stadium. What have you got going on this offseason?
Absolutely. Well, sun's obviously shining today. Spring training is starting, so it's feeling like baseball. A lot of what we're doing right now is it's due to the Major League Baseball new requirements. So we had to increase the size of the dugout, increase the size of the seating area as well. There's some safety pieces that we also added. We're in the process of finishing right now. So you can see right now we've replaced some of the plywood that was old, so we're reusing the existing wall, but then the new pads that you can see staged here will be going up, and they just arrived today. They're being pulled off pallets right now, but over the next 3 to 5 days, these pads will be covering all the way from the warning track up to the top of the outfield wall. So everything on the outfield wall is going to be vinyl now and padded, much more safe for the players. We did a renovation and expansion to both clubhouse buildings, both the first base side and the third base side. And one of the pieces that we did that was really impactful was we actually moved the home team from the first base side to the third base side, which is not traditional in baseball. So this is the Indians' home locker room, and just give you another point of reference too, is that the width of this space is the width of the original building, so the original 1958 structure. So everything, the coach's office, manager's office, and everything to the back side of this wall is an addition. We wanted to create a flexible space that not only the players could use in season, but hopefully we can use this in the off season as well. Our goal is also to program or activate this space during Indians games as well.
People are going to watch this and be like, you're qualified to talk about sports. Chris, thanks so much for the tour today. A lot of exciting things happening, and we've got opening night Friday, April 4th with opening night fireworks. What else are you guys excited about?
We're excited about everything. We're excited to show this facility off to the public. We've put a lot of work into it the last couple of years. Spring training started, sun shining today in Spokane. Single game tickets are on sale, so it feels like baseball. We're excited for 2025 and to welcome the Spokane community back.
Thanks for joining us for the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Be sure to keep it here on KREM 2 for more news throughout the weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Thanks for watching.